Ready?
Yeah,
Alright.
so my topic is about how thorium should be replaced, uranium should be replaced with thorium. So did you know that thorium is 3 times as more powerful as uranium, 3 times more abundant, highly concentrated, and overall a much safer choice? So I think the best way to explain this is to walk you through the steps of nuclear power and make sure that I hit every point about why thorium is so much better. So to start off, Salmonella, a renowned expert and proponent of replacing uranium reactors with thorium, states that it is 3 times more abundant in the Earth's crust compared to uranium. Also, it is more highly concentrated when you actually get your ore. So that means more work has to be done to uranium just to get the same amount of material to be used. So overall, you have to scour the Earth to find uranium in the first place, and then you have to find more of it just to get like half as much power. Speaking of power, uranium also has 2 different isotopes. So number 1 is uranium-238, and that makes up about 99% of all uranium ore, and we can't use that because it doesn't produce any power. So to get power, you basically throw a neutron into uranium-238, and then that reaction takes place and produces electricity. But when you throw a neutron into uranium-238, it doesn't do anything. It just like sits there, so we can't use it. So we actually need uranium-235, which makes up 0.7% of all uranium. So that means uranium has to go through a process called enrichment to up its concentration, and that's expensive. So the National European Organization estimates that because of all like the costly effects and because uranium is overall just produces less power, that about 1 ton of thorium is equal to 200 tons of uranium. And to put that into perspective, that's also about 3.5 million tons of coal. So not only is it cleaner, but it produces the same amount of power as a dying resource like coal, because that takes millions of years to produce. So now I'm going to transition into safety. So not only is thorium a lot safer, but the main difference between thorium and uranium is that uranium is fissile and thorium is fertile. So that means that with fissile uranium, it can do its job all on its own. So once you get it started, it's just going to go. While thorium is it needs a little bit of helper material to get it started. It's like a cripple, per se. So it needs a little bit of helper material, probably like plutonium or something, and then it'll start producing energy. Now that might seem like a bad thing, but it's actually a lot safer, because say you got your power source going, and as Salmonella states, the proponent that I mentioned earlier, once you get your power source going and stuff hits the fan, it's just going to keep going. Like an accident occurs, like you can kind of like move it around and cool it down, but at the end of the day, it's going to be swinging, and it's not going to be a good day for anybody. Thorium, on the other hand, is a lot safer because when stuff does hit the fan, in thorium reactors, it has a meltable cork at the bottom. So when heat starts rising and it's gonna explode, it melts the cork at the bottom and allows it to drain away from the helper material. And the barely radioactive liquid thorium is now away from the helper material, and it cools down almost instantly. So that prevents a lot of accidents. Also, it produces 100 times less waste than uranium. So, like, the minuscule amount that it produces can just be buried like any other radioactive material. And it feels a lot safer because you don't have as much material to leak into like runoffs and waterways. So you'll overall have like less material to get rid of, if that makes sense. One of the other safer things about uranium is that when you're back to mining, when you're mining it, like how you get out of bed and someone tries to get you out of bed and you whine and roll over. Uranium does the same thing, except instead of whining, it releases deadly cancer-inducing radon gas. So that means workers have to install ventilation units to, not die. And that's expensive, that's another thing. So overall, Thorium is a safer, cleaner energy source that can be used in many more ways and produce power for millions of people.